All right, Angelo, Carrie, if you guys can throw your hands up, I'm going to bring you guys over. We're going to run the video for all of the startups that are pitching today. Again, fantastic panel. I really loved so many different ideas and thoughts around how this world of esports and online engagement is really changing. You can think of all the latest engagements that have come from McDonald's to EA, all these great, exciting things are really happening in this space, and there's a real open opportunity here. Angelo, how are you, sir?
I'm awesome. Thank you for the acknowledgement at the beginning. Front end, wow. You're amazing, dude.
You're a rock star. We're a big fan. Big fan.
Well, as I mentioned in the chat, I'm a huge fan and lucky to have you as a good friend.
Likewise, likewise. And I'm going to, Carrie, if you're there, you can jump in and say hi while I set this all up.
Hi, everybody. Glad to see everyone here. Good event. Hi, Angelo.
Hi, Carrie. How are you? Great to see you again.
Doing good, doing good.
Awesome. All right. Well, why don't we do this just before this starts? We're going to run play, but maybe Carrie, give us 30 seconds on yourself, and then we'll do Angelo, and then we're going to play the video for all of the companies pitching today.
Sure. I'm Carrie Anaidi, as JP said. I work with the Made Noble, and we invest in startups. Basically, I would say I'm a generalist in business and enjoy looking and evaluating business.
You got cut off there, Carrie, but we'll go there just because you stalled. The last part stalled, but post generalist. All right, Angelo, fire away.
Hi, everyone. I'm angel investor, a member of York Angel Investors, Maple Leaf Angels, a partner at the Supporters Fund at OPN, a huge fan of the ecosystem, and my DNA is about helping companies, and that's what I live and breathe to do.
I love it. All right, so the way this is going to work, we're going to play the videos, and then at the end, I think what we'll do is maybe we'll just have a discussion, and Carrie and Angelo, you guys can throw some feedback around. I wouldn't say we're not going to go into each company because that would be a lot of notes, but maybe we can just do some generalized feedback and discussion, and any questions that anybody posts, we can answer those if that works for you guys.
Sure.
Great. I'm just going to transfer to a better Wi-Fi, so I don't have any more cutoffs.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Zach, and this is Quickscope. We're the dribble for video game developers and creators. So the problem in which the market faces today is that the game creation process is getting easier, but discovering new talent is not. This is because current communication is scattered on multitudes of different platforms, as well as current alternatives are insufficient and inadequate in the way that they do not allow these people to really visually represent their previous projects, which is such a priority in this industry. So our solution to these problems is to unite the video game creation industry on one centralized platform. Here's an example of our product here and how each profile actually acts as individuals' new industry-specific portfolio in the way that we allow our users to really showcase their previous projects in an innovative way. The gaming industry is valued at a whopping $180 billion in size. And in terms of traction, we have released our beta version, which had 58 users on it. We retained almost 50% of them, as well as we are launching our alpha version tomorrow. 2 out of our 3 co-founders graduated from the Founder Institute program. And we have landed agreements from 3 different organizations to help us out, including the International Game Developer Association. So for competition, Quickscope is the best of both worlds in the sense that we blend game development yet sociable environment with a place for our users to find jobs and further their careers in the industry. For our business model, in the short run, we're going to be focused on obtaining daily active users by offering our platform for free. With our expected growth, we will then implement a variety of different premium models, which vary in both price and functionality based on the needs of our consumers. For our go-to-market, we're going to be evaluating industry-specific strategies such as partnerships, attending large events, promotion through influencers, as well as outreach on a variety of different chat platforms. And finally, our team brings the necessary skills and tools to the table to be able to get this job done. And our ask for today is to help us with our $100,000 funding round on MFN Safe Notes, and we'd like connections to any advisors in marketing and gaming. Thank you.
Did you know that you could make money playing video games and that the gaming market is worth well over $200 billion globally? Back then, I used to have to pay to play my video games. Now you simply play to get paid. So what does that mean? So esports is overdoing a $2 billion market. It's growing, it's huge. There's going to be some saturation. And basically what that means is when you have platforms like Twitch, it's crowded. You've got established streamers with big audiences. What that also means is you've got newcomers who have zero audience. So we're basically building Dreamplay. Dreamplay is a platform that is going to be a new opportunity to streamers. You're going to be able to do your Twitch streams, your YouTube gaming, and your new original streams to the platform. We also have party rooms, which allows you to see the faces of your friends. So it's kind of like having a house party playing video games, but it's all done virtually. We think that's going to be a really cool and hot feature. On top of that, we have original content. I'm Anthony. I'm the founder and CEO, and I used to work for companies like Microsoft, Mercury Filmworks, and IMAX. I had business development. We've got Brandon Morales, who is heads technology, and worked for companies such as Parmalat, Samsung, and Microsoft. We've got Johnny Ho, Chief Creative Officer, and he worked for Groupon and some of the earliest AR/VR projects in both Germany and Hong Kong. We are currently looking for $500,000 Canadian for 15% of our company, and we look forward to meeting all of you. Thank you so much. Take care.
Hi, my name is Steve Doswell. I'm the CEO of SoundPace. So we provide a solution for esports entities to enable audiences with the ability to immediately respond to calls to action and make single touch purchases directly from the content that they're viewing. It makes the fan engagement or viewing experience completely immersive. And this interaction all happens in real time, and we do it through ultrasonic sound waves. As you see in the stadium here, the speakers around the stadium are sending out an ultrasonic signal that the phones can pick up with their technology, any app or wallet with their technology inside, serves a payment card, including shipping and taxes. And now what you have in the excitement of the moment is potentially 50, 60,000 people simultaneously purchasing that jersey with a single touch. Roots Canada used the technology at a live fashion show. And actually, let's let the Chief Marketing Officer introduce us here.
Here on social media, you'll be able to actually shop for the palm of your hand the product that is actually on stage.
So you see, as the models walk by from the sound system, the audience picks up all the items of clothing they're wearing, the shirt, the jeans, the sweater, and now they can pick the items of interest, go through size and color, and buy the products directly from the sound system while the model's in front of them. It's a great user experience. If you look at this young lady on the right, you'll see that she's having a lot of fun with it. So it's not just for live events, it also works well on TV, open air stadiums, out of home signs. And it's all about getting a purchase cart to the user or the viewer at that moment when they're most amenable to making a purchase, what they call the power of the moment. And then tracking who they are, where they are, what event they are, what content they're looking at, et cetera. So I'm the CEO, I've done 3 startups in Canada, all successfully acquired. Doug Sutherland, our CTO, has done 2 of the larger or most downloaded apps in Canada, Time Play and the CIBC Tim Hortons Double card. You'll see we have existing brand name customers. We have 3 international patents for technology, and we have a number of big brands that we'll be working with in the near future. And I'd like to thank everybody for your time and attention here.
Hi, welcome to Luckbox, a premium esports betting platform around the world, trading on the TSXV with the handle Luck and on the OTCQB with the handle Luke F. We're a fully licensed esports betting platform, esports being professional computer game tournaments, and betting on them being in exactly the same legislation infrastructure as with traditional sports betting. In 2019, esports was worth about 1.4 billion Canadian dollars, whereas esports betting was already $1.25 billion, making it the single largest revenue stream in esports and growing at 44% year on year. We have a premium global license, which allows us to accept customers. We're live in over 80 countries around the world, and we have a veteran team being expertise in both esports and the gambling space with over 100 years of directly applicable experience from companies such as PokerStars, 888, Disney, Zynga, and Electronic Arts. We have an award-winning platform. My favorite stat is that 18 to 25-year-olds watch more computer games than they do traditional sports. Esports will be the largest sport in the future. For example, in 2019, the League of Legends World Championships, one of the largest tournaments, had more viewers than the Super Bowl. We're already award-winning. The Oscars of the gambling industry nominated us the Rising Star, so the #1 growth company to watch in the entire of the gambling space. Earlier this year, in addition to betting on esports, we also added traditional sports betting, so you can bet on over 105 sports around the world in real time. Our growth strategy is simple. We're not raising at the moment. First and foremost is we're looking to scale our organic business through investing through marketing. And secondly, we're looking to put together a deal flow roadmap, so some M&As in the space, particularly to leverage esports odds companies. Thanks very much for listening. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Hi, I'm Ben Pfefferman. I am the CEO of Amuka Esports, and we are building the largest esports and gaming community right here in Canada. Esports is playing video games at a competitive level. It could be playing for $10 in a beer league or competing for $40 million in front of 100,000 people. The problem we're trying to solve is gamers didn't really have dedicated communities to either come and play in person, online, be part of leagues, and we really wanted to create a whole esports ecosystem where whatever type of gamer you are, you're gonna find something in Amuka Esports. Our business model is really predicated on esports venues, which we own and operate 2 esports venues in Toronto and Windsor. We produce hundreds of online events and tournaments per year, which are really growing and thriving. We have a dedicated media division that's producing esports content that television networks and OTT platforms are now licensing. And we have a competitive team right here, Parabellum Esports, which has pro rosters as well as academy level teams that compete in all sorts of different games. We are on a mission to bring esports and gaming into the mainstream. One of the biggest successes we've had so far is we've been able to get brands to activate, and sponsorship revenue accounts for anywhere from 60 to 70% of the revenue. So when you're looking at an esports company, you have to see, can they get that buy-in from sponsors? And the answer with Amuka Esports is yes. We've signed massive deals with endemic sponsors like Corsair, Seagate, Zowie, and BenQ, and non-endemic brands to come on board like Guru, Organic Energy, a couple others that have come on board, and that really validates what we're building is some of the best esports assets in Canada. We are raising $600,000. Pre-money valuation is around $5.2 million, and we hope that you're going to come on board, join Amuka Esports, and be part of this quest to be the biggest and greatest esports company in Canada.
Hello, my name is Catherine DeShields Moon, co-founder of Divertiga. It's no secret that gaming and esports are big. The global gaming market will generate $159 billion this year and is projected to surpass $200 billion in 2023. Esports will reach $1.1 billion. But with more money, there are definitely more problems on the diversity and inclusion front. A June 2020 study reported 74% of those working in game dev are male and 68% identify as white or Caucasian. Currently, less than 2% of game developers are African American and 7% identify as Latinx, despite the fact that in 10 years, 57% of gamers will be people of color. This is where Divertiga will make a difference. Our platform celebrates minority success and encourages meaningful connections among industry professionals to foster diversity and inclusion in the gaming and esports space. We champion the fantastic work people of color and gender minorities are doing to advance the industry, while providing those who don't identify as a gender minority or a person of color an avenue to understand what they can do to help. We do this to advance thought leadership, jumpstart awesome partnerships that occur when great people meet great people, and provide the next generation with role models who look like them. Our membership portal elevates the best and brightest in minority talent and makes it easier than ever to find partners, employees, investors, jobs, services, and mentors. I'm fortunate to have 2 co-founders, a producer who worked with DreamHack and is deeply embedded in the Atlanta esports scene, and a business leader with 15 years of experience in capital markets running large-scale tech. I've worked in the gaming industry for 7 years, spanning games journalism, community management, esports partnerships and PR, and now virtual reality. Divertiga is pre-revenue and gearing up for launch, but here's how you can help. If you are a minority professional working in the industry, or you're an ally who wants to champion diversity along with us, please contact me. Together, we can take the gaming and esports industry to new heights.
As traditional sports struggle with stalling viewership, a new kind of sport has emerged with huge appeal for millions around the world.
Esports is probably the #1 growing competitive scene out right now.
That's 20 million people who are watching the damn thing.
Being part of something that you're incredibly passionate about.
Are you serious right now? Which was an episode. This is the way it's gotta be. Oh!
I mean, you might question it now. We're all going to be watching it in one way or another. It's huge, basically unstoppable.
Hi, I'm Trevor Dirksen, CEO of ePlay Digital. ePlay has 11 different mobile games and app stores with a marketing program that launched just this month. 3 of those games are from our ES or eSports lineup. They earn eSports revenues, feature Howie Mandel, and they are just the beginning. ePlay brings esports and sports to mobile and monetizes. We announced a deal with the now NASDAQ-listed Versus Systems last August. That technology is now ready and part of an upcoming marketing push. Other similar marketing deals have worked their way through technical trials and will be announced as those trials are completed. And even more are coming through partners, through podcasts, upcoming Olympics, and the marketing advantages the company enjoys. For revenue, ePlay is initially focused in the $380 billion mobile advertising, mobile game, and augmented reality verticals. Those are the ones in the middle of that chart. And expanding to the fast-growing sports gaming and esports verticals, the shorter but growing bars on the left. For sake of time, I'm not going to go into our flagship games, How We Go Viral with Howie Mandel, Beach Up Basketball with Robert Ory. I'm only going to focus on our ES games. The ES line are mini games and allow people to compete head-to-head for prizes, including cash prizes. We have a ladder-style mini game called Swish, a match 3 viral droplets to please Howie game, and an AR augmented reality basketball title. With our ES games, users choose to compete for a $10 prize. For example, the entry fee is $6 per person, only one wins, and the house takes $2. Howie gets press, we drive down consumer acquisition costs, drive up average revenue per daily active user. It's a simple formula. In addition to those titles being marketed soon, we have Clocked, our fitness title and virtual world, our nifty esports NFT platform, and FanFreak that round out the ePlay ES line. FanFreak has users build a streak, keep it alive to win, and it's simple. Like Clocked, you're going to use it every day. So download our games, invest in EPY, or drop us a line to learn more about the next big thing in esports. FanFreak, Nifty Esports, and Clocked.
Hey everyone, my name is Justin, and I love 2 things, esports and fantasy football. Every year, over 45 million people play fantasy football, which is a way for fans to create the best roster of professional players to win prizes and rewards. With esports being the second most watched sport in the US, it was surprising to find that all fantasy esports options were not at all catered to esports fans. For one, all fantasy sports sites expect users to have high disposable income, as the cost to enter a single contest can vary from $5 to $10 to even upwards of $1,000, which most esports fans can't afford. Our competitors are also considered online gambling, which is prohibited or highly regulated worldwide. And finally, current sites are designed for users who are only interested in winning cash prizes. XP Fantasy is an affordable fantasy esports site for fans worldwide who don't want to gamble but still want to win prizes. We are the first to implement a freemium subscription model, as we just charge $8 a month for fans to compete and win prizes at a reduced cost. This also dissociates us from online gambling, which allows us to be accessible to esports fans worldwide. We also found that esports fans are enticed by winning more than just cash, so we offer esports-specific prizes like live coaching sessions from pros. We found that 12% of football enthusiasts play fantasy football, so assuming a similar ratio for the 200 million esports enthusiasts out there, our total addressable market is approximately 24 million users at $8 a month, resulting in a $2.3 billion industry. We just launched in March and have nearly 300 users on the platform with over 2,000 fantasy lineups drafted so far. We have also partnered with a few esports influencers, including former League of Legends pro Mike Young. Here's our team. I'm responsible for handling all business operations. Arjun develops and implements all of the platform's features, and Aparna provides legal and strategic guidance. XP Fantasy provides fans with an accessible way to enhance their esports experience who don't want to gamble but still want to win prizes. Thank you.
Your mouse, your way. At Apex Esports, we want to create the world's most personalized and customizable gaming mouse ever made. Rather than just letting you customize the look of your mouse like some of our competitors, we let you customize the feel as well by giving the choice between concave or convex buttons that best suit your hand and grip styles, because one size definitely does not fit all. Now let me ask you a question. Why is Scuf the most popular pro gaming controller company? Because everyone is different and you can build it in the way that suits you best, enabling you to play better than ever before. That's why Corsair, one of the biggest PC gaming companies, acquired Scuf in December of 2019. With the help of my social media marketing skills, my videographer Sean, and copywriter Georgia, I've gathered and surveyed my email list of over 1,000 people, built an e-commerce website from scratch, sold over $3,000 of gaming gear online, and launched our first Kickstarter campaign. We have a private label partnership with one of the most reputable gaming mouse manufacturers in the space, and they are capable of making the product. I have personally figured out the distribution and fulfillment needed to scale. I'm looking for $120,000 for 10% of my company to design, build a mold, and market and manufacture my gaming mouse. I believe the company will be worth $4 million in 5 years based on similar market value and the growth of the esports industry. Now's the time to join because the gaming and esports industry is getting more competitive every single day. My name is Tristan Young, and I'd like to thank you for your time, and I hope to talk with you all soon.
Entertainment has evolved over the years, from watching it on TV, with the gang at the bar, to mobile devices in defined perspective. But what if you could watch it from here? Or here? Or here, from the comfort of your home, and not just alone, but with friends while interacting in 360 virtual reality. VR being the most talked about and the least implemented tech of the last decade. Welcome to the Vertex, the world's first broadcast enabling platform in virtual reality with social interaction. Our key differentiators are in being real, not animated. We don't own any content, group experiences, VR devices in subscription, and unique licensing payout to partners. Some key analytics to define our market on a global scale. In the United States, in December 2020, we conducted a teaser campaign on YouTube, which had over 17,000 views, 370 website hits, and 58 signups for beta testing over 5 days. The numbers didn't look that impressive, but then these guys took interest on the B2C end of our platform. And on the B2B end, our main revenue streams are three-pronged, and over the next 3 years by 2024, we intend to have about 1 million users with over 40% retention as active, with an average lifespan of 6 months. It's time to watch it, live it together.
Hi, this is Abhishek Kanjilal, founder of The Vertex. You've been listening to me on the video, and this is our pitch for a $2.5 million investment on convertible notes. Hope we have been able to excite you as much excited we are about The Vertex. For any questions, please feel free to reach me. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Malcolm Wilkinson, founder of We the Bookie. We the Bookie will launch a B2C online sportsbook, which will disrupt the industry by bringing to market 2 key features, which will appeal to all sports bettors, but should be particularly attractive to those who bet on esports. The first feature is that We the Bookie will pool the gross betting revenues and distribute 50% back to the customers at the end of each month. The betting odds associated with esports have a higher loss per bet margin than most established sports. So our esports customers should benefit relatively more from the WeShare model. The second feature, called Bookies View, allows customers to click into any event to see how each outcome will affect the WeShare pool. Esports enthusiasts can see which players are attracting the most action, which will offer them additional interest in esports events without having to place an actual bet on the event. We the Bookies model is non-greedy but financially viable and will foster a strong community of customers. These traits resonate most with the millennial generation, so I would expect there to be plenty of overlap between the esports community and We the Bookies customer base. For more information, please visit wethebookie.com or contact me directly at info@wethebookie.com. Thank you.
Well, those are some really well done pitches. I was amazed at in 2 minutes how much information you can get across and how exciting it looks when you get it in HD and using those great graphics. So well done, everybody, for your pitches. So I think what we're going to do next is, and Ben, you're welcome to join into this as well. I'd love to get just some thoughts around, I guess, initially, and anybody in the audience, feel free to share any questions, but I'd love to get some thoughts just around your initial take, Carrie, around all of the companies that have pitched, and we'll kind of go around the board if there was any that stood out and comments or anything you want to share about them.
Sure. I mean, I guess I can go first. Being as my son would call me, a newbie in the gaming world. I understand a lot of the stuff just by living through my younger son, but I think there's so much potential in this type of an industry that is pushing towards, you know, esports and bringing community online and trying to I wouldn't say it's important to replicate what has been successful in normal, you know, like traditional sports, but instead finding a new way. How, you know, what makes sense in this new world of sports where you can have a team that is international truly and, you know, competing digitally, you know, it's quite amazing. It's you know, all the stuff that we've seen in movies for years are now our reality. So it's exciting. I found a few of the products really, really interesting because they're answering a solution to somebody who's using it, like the mouse that is, you know, totally personalizable. And I mean, obviously all these things you can't go by 2 minutes, but understanding more about that kind of stuff. And the sound pay sounds great, but how many more people are doing this right now, just because there is so much of a explosion in innovation right now, you know, so understanding where all that is in the market. But very interesting pitches. I enjoyed all of them.
Perfect. Ben, how about yourself? Anything stand out, and any comments or thoughts around it?
Yeah, really strong group. A lot of companies that I had seen, a lot that I haven't seen, so it was a really nice mix. I like Rumble a lot as a talent agency. I think it's kind of like higher margin revenue. We're seeing kind of like Game Square, which went public. They have an esports agency as their sort of cornerstone, and it's a very valuable asset just as you build out a portfolio of other verticals. So definitely a fan of that. I also really like Luckbox. That's a premium gaming betting platform for sure. They're already, you know, pretty big publicly traded company. There's for sure a challenge with esports with, you know, match fixing and things like that. So the integrity of these platforms is scrutinized, but I think, you know, enforcement will prevail and you know, people will feel comfortable betting. So that's another great vertical, and I think Luckbox has got a good early lead there.
Perfect. And Angelo, I know that we've been part of, and you've been earlier part of Enthusiast Gaming, which really kind of stands out in this space as being, I think, the 300 million uniques a month in the whole gaming space and touch points, and being the largest gaming platform. So outside of obviously that, how are you seeing these companies, and what are your thoughts around it?
Well, just one note. Ben and I were sort of hand in hand on the EGLX in those early days. So great to see a good friend and colleague And so I do like Amuka. Ben knows I'm a big fan. Have been there. And then this damn COVID thing came up, right? So I've been meaning to follow up several times, and hopefully we can do that shortly. So I really liked the pitches that occurred. And although with my background you can't see, but I am sitting in a gaming chair. So one of the things that really stuck out for me is the whole concept of how do you make the esports environment more inclusive, increase the diversity, and I definitely want to be an ally, as Catherine has asked for. So that one really stands out. Also, the recruitment of video game creators, a platform to do that. Yes, people can build their reputation, but as you're embarking in that space, how do you get the best one, right? So I see some real opportunities there. I do like the fantasy sports and the merging of esports with traditional sports, and looking at that sort of betting environment as Ben talked about. The only concern that I have is how do you get to that adoption cycle where you're not sort of prevented to actually execute based on gaming laws, if any. And it's good to see that things are easing up in that space. And I see that as a next wave in terms of where people can be really engaged, both from the community side, the players, but also the viewers and the spectators. So definitely, I really like them. It was rapid fire. I'd actually like to sit down and learn more from a vast majority of them, and some I've seen. And just a shout out to to Apex. Your mouse, your way. I like the tagline. Okay, and as an old geezer, that's always been a challenge for me, even though I'm double jointed. But so I like that concept. And many years ago, I was with mentoring a company when I was at NRC, and they had this amazing technology that initially I said, dudes, you're competing with a marketplace where I can buy your product at the dollar store for $2, and you're trying to sell your product for $500. You're never going to succeed. Well, fast forward, they got acquired by Logitech, and that brand is Harmony Remote. And 20 years later, they're still around, and it's transformed a mouse manufacturer. So hang in there. I think that there is an opportunity where you can create a novel mouse, just like the Harmony people did in Mississauga.
Love it. And well, I'll just ask a couple of more questions just around this. And I think what I love about this is that it's such a early group of people coming into a really large space that's just been dominated by big players. And I think the movement, of course, is people starting. Oh, so much talking today, apparently.
Yeah. I think JP may need a little bit of cannabis right now. I think just.
Yeah, we gotta cut to commercial or something.
Maybe a bit far.
If he doesn't come back in 5 minutes, someone call 911 for him.
Yeah. He's on the corner.
Boy, that was crazy. I don't know. My voice just went. I'm middle of talking, and the whole thing went. Yeah, it was gagging. I'm good. I didn't even have anything to eat, so I don't know what the hell. It just dried up real quick.
Are you crying, JP? Or
I was so excited for the moment, but to be able to share. But from the perspective of the big players that are really in this community, you're seeing that there's a lot of room for early stage growth and opportunities to dive into this space. And Ben, from your accelerating side and being able to work in this space, are you seeing, and I can speak from an angel side, we're seeing, I would say, a good portion of the deal flow. A lot of these companies we've seen starting to grow and move with them. Are you starting to see that there is a lot of opportunity that's coming out in this direct space, and that you're getting a lot of companies reaching out to you to figure out how to build a company and get into it faster?
Yeah, definitely. There's been a lot of esports and gaming companies consistently coming out in all the different verticals. I think what's really interesting is that there isn't really a long shelf life for the companies. Either they fade very quickly. I think Silicon Valley, like the fast fail model, or they're acquired. We see a ton of M&A. Even this morning, the gaming stadium acquired Even Matchup Gaming, which is Toronto-based tournament organizer in Smash. So with it, I think there's not like these companies will be around for 5 years and we'll see what happens. They're either going to fold or get acquired because of the massive amounts of M&A that's going on in the industry.
Totally agree with that. I think there's a huge roll up, and I think that was mentioned previous as well, that it's something that's just inevitable. You've got to have some of these big players eat up the small players to kind of keep the progress growing, but being able to take that usership inside of their business and really start to drive faster. And if anybody's going to compete against Twitch and these other big streaming platforms, they really got to start eating up the market so that they can compete faster and quicker. Angelo, on your side, and Carrie, what are some of the things that you can share that you really look for in these? I know this was just a small micro version of a pitch, which is 2 minutes, but are there certain things that you guys really like to touch on that you like to see, even if it's a 2-minute pitch, just something that stands out that really will help investors pick up on them real quick and want to reach out and follow their journey and or invest?
Yeah, what I'd like to see, Carrie, if you don't, sorry about that. What I like to see is what sort of traction does a company have? And in my perspective, traction can be two things, right? Either the number of eyeballs that's been attracted to their solution, and or how much revenues are possible. So if I look at the early days of enthusiast gaming, it wasn't the revenue base that attracted me to invest in them. It was more of I believed in the founder. He had a great vision and a great strategy to grow, and growing through building a community and then creating revenues through ads and so on. So to me, what I like to see is how attractive have the solutions been to their target marketplace, and regardless of whether it's paying at this particular point, that holds a lot of water in my perspective. So Gary, sorry about that.
No. I would mirror Angelo as many times I do on these pitchit calls, but traction for sure is super important. Knowing where they are. Are they just in an idea stage? Have they created something and they're selling something now? Where are they in their business? But then also, especially in a 2-minute pitch, a succinct one-liner that tells me what you're doing. Because when you're listening to something for the first time, it is very difficult to truly understand what your business model is with, just words, and also even just with the one screen. So a one-liner saying, there was one that said, uniting the gaming industry on one platform. And so that helps to begin, but then also add a little bit of the business model in there, you know, like what part of the gaming industry. That's huge, you know, so understanding more specifically what you do. And then the problem is also really important to me, knowing what you're solving, because if you're not solving a problem that's in the market, then you're just doing something for yourself. It's a hobby. So making sure that you have done somewhat of the research, whether it's your own community and your own gaming group or whatever that knows that this is a problem, or you've done customer interviews, or you've, you know, how do you know this is a problem? Those things I think are important. Traction, what you're doing, and what you're fixing.
So that's some good advice that, you know, make sure, and just to kind of wrap that around, is that have a problem, state the problem. If you've got 2 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, always go for the problem. Have a quick idea on the solution, and then show some facts, some revenue, some numbers, targets, where you're going, what you've accomplished, just to show that there's some traction, that you're a live business. And I guess round that up with some sort of little visual that is going to get people really understanding the direction of where you're going. Is it really impactful in the metrics side to share in that 2-minute pitch maybe a client name, or does that really validate you guys too as well when you're looking at a company, especially in a short format and early stage?
I think it depends on, sometimes a name would be important, other times it's only if it's a strategic reason, and understanding that strategic reason is important. So that's my opinion.
Anything you would avoid putting into a pitch that you see a lot of? I'll give you a reference. A lot of the time, and today you'll see a little bit of it, where you're going into the environment and you're giving statistics on the size of the gaming industry. You're doing these things that in a short format might be, you're trying to educate the space when you're pitching for money. So it might be more valuable to show where you're at and what you've accomplished in this space versus giving out information about the area that you're going into when you're limited on time and you're really trying to win the eyes and ears of that investor.
I'm really big in understanding your customer, big time. So I do like the feedback, because you can just razzle dazzle everyone with all of these numbers and stats, right? But they are numbers and stats. What really holds a lot of water, sorry, I used that phrase again. What really resonates with me is the fact that, do you understand your user base, your customer base, and what has been their feedback, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean Johnny or Sally really like it. It's more of, why did Johnny or Sally really like it? What really stood out for them to really embrace your solution? That holds a lot more water than or a lot more relevance to me than indicating it's a $6 billion marketplace. It doesn't tell me really how engaged you are in that marketplace.
Yeah, and maybe just to add to that, yeah, it's like, if you can't figure out how they're going to make money, it's already a complicated industry, and if it's not stated, then it may not exist, you know. So and that is it's one of you brought it up, like this fine line between, is this a hobby or a business? And I think with a lot of esports companies, I do ask that question because gamers are just so passionate, and you know, they'll do it for a long time, even if it doesn't really have a strong business case. So I think that's really important to identify early on.
100%. I agree with
Love
that.
it. All right. Well, just due to time, I'm gonna throw this back at you guys again. Any last words to the audience on, you know, we'll post, you can post them at your LinkedIn's, you guys can post emails, all that good stuff in the chat, but any final words you want to share to the community just about ways to engage or things that they should look for, anything like that? But I turn it over to you. Maybe Carrie, you want to start and go from there?
Yeah, I mean, I think just any business, whether it's in esports or not, make sure you have your business model all set. You know where you're going to make the money, because yes, we may not be greedy and super interested in money, but money sustains the business. And if you're not going to do that, then it, like Ben was saying, again, it's a hobby. So I'm glad to hear everything happening. If there's anything I can do to help, please reach out. I'm on LinkedIn, Carrie and Heidi. So.
Love it. Well, you can post it in the chat. Angelo, fire away.
Not to be repetitive, it's really about understand your marketplace and how you are going to execute on capturing as much of your marketplace as possible. Go beyond that sort of shiny light that you're chasing, but quantify the gold that sits behind that shiny light, and how are you going to corral it. So I'm a big believer in having a vision on how you can transform yourself at that very early stage to a real presence in the marketplace, just like Enthusiast Gaming and all of the wonderful work that they've done in the past few years.
I love it. Ben?
Yeah, I'll just say, if you're an investor or just, someone who wants to learn more, the best way is to do it. You got to play the games, you got to watch the games. You're really never going to understand it unless you tune in and make that effort. So really encourage everyone to do that. And, for entrepreneurs, absolutely, you got to get involved. It's great. There's a lot of opportunities. The skills you learn with some of these low barrier to entry verticals, like organizing a team and tournament, are so valuable. Anyone can get together and have 20 guys and girls play Among Us or any games and get tournament and get experience. That's out there. So people just have to take advantage. Lastly is just, thought leadership and authority, like get out there, stream, create content, talk about the industry. And that's really the best way to get started and get known.
I love it. Well, I appreciate all the time you guys have put in today. Thank you very much for that. We're excited to be able to blast all this out. And, it was a great day. This will be our first and longest panel running, so we're excited. Huge fan of the space, so it couldn't have happened for a better group. So again, thank you guys for all of your feedback. And in saying that, I'm going to wrap this up, I guess. So we've come to the end of our time. We had 3 great panels. I do want to thank all of you for joining. Ben, you did a fantastic job on the keynote. I'm still thinking about it. You did so many great things on that, and what you talked about, you opened it up. Love that. Angelo, Carey, all of the panel members, thank you for joining. A huge thank you to Laura for being a rock star and putting this all together. She really went over and above and crushed it. So thank you for that. I will work on my skills on running a video inside of a pitch deck. I obviously need some work on that. That's for the next one. And I just wanted to share a little story that when my brother and I this was probably, 20 years ago, in the early days of Call of Duty, when my brothers and I lived together, we would as soon as that game came out, we were front door waiting to buy that game. Each of us, we had to buy our own game, of course. So we would buy the game. We lived in the house, in a house together. We had speaker systems, not a word of a lie. We would drag and build cables so that we could attach speakers in our rooms so that we could yell at each other while we were playing. We never thought anything of this and turning this into a real business. And we would sit there, even though we were just 2 brothers playing on a video game.
Yeah, I'm still on this event. I'm just finishing off.
we would be crushing these games. And what was great about it was that we would go until 3 or 4 in the morning, and then we had to be at our job at 8 a.m. And we didn't want to sleep because it had to be the first one to finish the game. We had to go to the end. And all I remember is that I would show up at my job, sit down at my desk, and my fingers would go to AWS. And I was not even thinking of it. And I'd be like, why isn't this keyboard working? Because all I was thinking about was the video game that I just spent 10, 12 hours playing straight. So at the end of the day, it's a beautiful space. It's a big community, a lot of great people. It brings back a lot of memories. I'm a big fan, from all of the things that we've lived through. So thank you, everybody, for joining today. It's amazing that you can put a panel in a whole mini series together about something that I was passionate about, that I didn't get the chance to turn it into a business. And man, I love the fact that everybody has. So huge fan again, everybody. If you want to reach out, there's some emails. Feel free to connect to us. Everybody's posted their content and details on LinkedIn or on chat, and reach out anytime. But thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Well, just to wrap up and just for the recording, I will say that today was fantastic. Really learned a lot and took, man, plenty of notes. It's crazy, but I think at the end of the day, I really want to just emphasize that, you know, to what Ben was getting to on the ignorance ruins perspective, is that get out there and build it. You want to be part of something, you want to learn how this gaming industry works, or you want to be part of where this gaming industry is going to go, you've got the perfect time to jump right in. And I think just to kind of encompass all of that, you know, even the big brands are making a stance. They're starting to drive into this from a social standpoint. You've got micro opportunities that are going in from the people that want to be social and drive out that leadership role from 5,000 to 10,000 followers is becoming a big opportunity as well. So I think that there's a lot of value in this space. And if you can find a way to build into it, build some passion and grow within this space, it's the perfect opportunity. It's really starting to bloom. And I think overall, you know what, the crossover from a persona to reality is really blending into one. And again, all of this stuff has been great to learn how people were looking at it across the board. A lot of great startups in the area, and you know what? You just got to do it, like Ben said. So thank you again for your time. Feel free to like, share, post, but what a great event. Enjoy your day, everybody.